Everyone, today I'm going to rank every AI service you can sell in 2025, and I'm going to rank them based on their ability to produce an ROI for the client and the ease at which you can sell them. So this is going to be a tier list from highest priority to lowest priority systems. And my name is Ethan. I've personally built and sold over 80 grand of these AI systems that I'm about to show you. And so I've either sold them directly to clients or implemented them directly in my business. So this isn't just theoretical. So the way that I'm going to do this is I'm going to recommend you guys sell anything that's ranked S, A, or B tier, and then I'm going to heavily dissuade you from selling anything between C, D, and F tier based on my personal experience. So let's dive right in. Okay, so let's start with the proposal generation system. So you can see we'll have a lot of different systems that we'll be going over today. I have the schemas of each of the systems so you can see exactly like what it is and how it works. So the proposal generation system, this is basically whenever a sales call finishes, whenever you get a transcript from a sales call, you're feeding this into a scenario. It's generating information for the proposal, and then it's filling out variables in a Panadoc proposal or DocuSign proposal, and then it's outputting it and sending it to the client. So this is something I use in my business pretty much daily. And in terms of, I've ran multiple email campaigns, sold this to people, and the reception is really amazing and it's really easy to deliver. So this is one that I would put in the S tier up here. So proposal generation system is highly leverageable system. So now let's go to the next one here. So now there's the email follow-up system. This is wherever you get an inbound lead, maybe from an ad, a form submission, then it goes and it follows up with them, it qualifies them, it schedules follow-up actions with them, and it takes the next steps. This one is definitely valuable, but it's going to be a little bit harder to sell because it's not that complex of an automation. And so in terms of building and selling an email automation system, I would probably rank this one at a B or a C, probably at a B here, because it's very easy to sell, but you're not going to make very much money selling it. And so the next system that we're going to rank here is the website chatbot lead capture system. So someone goes to your website, you have some sort of website chatbot, and that engages with people and it guides them through a sales process and it qualifies them and it books the appointment. This one is extremely highly valuable. The one thing that I've found going and selling this is that there's not actually that many businesses where it makes sense to spend a bunch of money on this. So you have to be really careful about who you're targeting here and what types of businesses. So I'd probably put this as at a B as well. It's very possible to sell this system well. You just have to make sure that you're targeting the right people, and sometimes finding the market and finding the ICP that you're going after here is something that's not super easy to nail down. So the next one is an outbound voice agent. This is a agent platform like Vappy. You design what the flow is. It goes and then it calls people and it puts them into the sales process. And so it's basically this idea of like it will go, it will send, it'll call people, it'll have voicemails, it will try to initiate and activate people in your sales funnel or not in your sales funnel, just like a list of leads. So this one I would say is an F for multiple reasons. Mainly because personally, like I've seen people try to sell this and it hasn't worked out well. But also because I just think it's extremely unethical, and to have like a billion voice agents calling every human on the planet to try to sell them stuff within 5 years, that's not a reality I want to live in. And so I tend to shy away from anything that is outbound and voice calling. Now inbound voice calling, if someone submits a lead form and they opt into something on your website and then you use the agent to give them a call and say, hey, I saw you filled out the form, would love to hear more about that. They're actually opting in there. So the ethical landscape is different. And so now let's go into the inbound appointment setting agent. So this is exactly what I was just talking about. You get an inquiry, and then once they opt into your website, to your marketing campaign, to whatever it is, you can have this agent. There's a couple different types of this agent. I think I have another one over here, which is another inbound agent. So there's an inbound voice appointment setting agent, and there's an inbound email appointment setting agent. So for the inbound voice appointment setting agent, this is where they opt in, it gives them a call, it qualifies them, and it books an appointment. This one, because they're opting in, and you're basically like getting new business for these clients, it's extremely valuable. And so I would probably put this as an A or a B, personally. So I think, yeah, the appointment setting agent, if you're running like marketing campaigns for them, if you're running some sort of campaign where you're managing their CRM, it's probably an A. But I don't think it's a standalone system. Like I'll probably put it as a B. I'm going to put it as a B here because although it's valuable as an add-on to other systems and not as much as a standalone system. So I wouldn't recommend selling this system just on its own. But if you're like selling some sort of outbound email system, and then whenever you get a warm lead, the inbound agent, qualifies them, that's going to be a lot more valuable. But again, it's as a secondary add-on here. And so now let's go to the CRM build out. So this is like you take some sort of CRM template, whether it's recruitment, creative agency, coaching, and you're optimizing each of the stages. You're adding trigger automations to send emails and SMS follow-ups at different stages in the CRM. You're giving them dashboards. This is a very valuable build out. I've seen people do this really well. And you can sell this for a lot of money. So you can sell this for, $5 to $10,000 to build it out, depending on the size of the company. And so in terms of the CRM build out, I would rank this as an A, where you can sell this for a lot of money, but I'm not going to put it at the S tier because, again, it's not the most easy system to sell, right? If a client like needs a CRM build out and they have the money, it's going to be a no-brainer to sell this for them and to build this for them, but it's not going to be the type of system where every client's going to be like, yes, I can immediately see why I need that and the value of it. It's going to take a little bit of sales work on your end. And so now we have the inbound voice agent. So let's say like a business gets a call from you. Maybe it's a plumbing business. Maybe it's a, some sort of local service-based business. They receive a call, the AI answers it, it routes them, it qualifies them and puts them down any number of different flows. If they're interested, it sends them information. It could transfer them to a human. It can connect to a calendar and put them into a calendar system. And so I would recommend that for this system, although it sounds really helpful, the types of businesses that you're trying to sell for this thing are local businesses. So when I went and sold this to local businesses, the results were absolutely atrocious in terms of the vast majority of local businesses that I talked to for the inbound voice agent. They either said, no, I don't want this. We have humans. We don't want AI. So they're not tech companies. So to try to have a high tech inbound voice agent system for them, it's hard for them to see the value. Plus, they're pretty much low revenue because they're a service-based business with a bunch of boots on the ground. Their profit margins are not very high. And so to try to sell them this $5,000 system, it's going to be really hard for them to, see the value of it. And when I was speaking with a towing company, they basically said like, if it's only 95% accurate, that's not enough, because if there's one person, that's in a certain situation, we would need it to be 100% accurate. And so, after sending 30,000 emails myself to local businesses for this offer, the results were not what you would expect. And everyone really hypes this up. Everyone really hypes voice agents up. And the hype is all an illusion. I would not recommend selling this. There's so many systems that you can sell more easily, more effectively. And that is not the system that you want to start with. So the next one is the new client onboarding automation. You get a new client trigger, maybe a proposal was signed, then you have AI send them assets, send them emails, follow up with them, give them a video introduction, a personalized Notion page, send onboarding materials, update the CRM. So there's a lot of different automations here in terms of what you can do upon a trigger of a new client onboarding. This is an extremely valuable system for the right person. So you'll start noticing a theme here. A lot of these systems are extremely valuable if you find the right market. That's going to be any service that you could sell ever. But there's some offers where more markets are receptive to them. There's some offers where only a few markets are receptive to them. This is one where there's only a few markets that are really receptive to them. So I would say I'll put this in C because, if a business is large enough and they have the cash, they probably have some basic client onboarding system set up. And if they're small enough and they need the system, they probably don't have the cash that it's going to take for you to really understand and build out the system for them. Again, this is kind of like an add-on automation. If you're doing a CRM build out for someone, if you're doing a bunch of lead generation for someone, it could help to say like, hey, let's just go and build out your client onboarding automation once you start getting them results. But to sell it as a standalone thing is going to be really difficult, and I've had difficulty selling the system as a standalone, even though I built it for myself. And so let's go into the, I think it's right here. I need an AI agent. So the AI agent, I need an AI agent where it can interact with SMS, Slack, Telegram. It can respond to messages, manage bookings, handle client communication, follow up with leads, manage sales interactions. These systems, although they're extremely hyped up, they don't sell very well. I built out one of these systems for a client. The complexity, if a client's like wanting to pay for this, they're on the frontier of like what tech can do. But most of the companies that are a little bit larger, they need the consistency and the reliability. And as of right now, because these are not deterministic workflows, they're just AI agents. The value for a larger company, which would have the money to pay for something like this, they need some sort of guarantee that it will work like 99% of the time, and they're just not that good yet. And the companies that are small enough that want you to build this out for them, they usually they have extremely high expectations of what this can do. And it usually just like working with them has been, not an enjoyable experience. So I would actually put this as a C level or even a D level. Let's say a C level system. And so the next one is the AI personalized cold email system. And so this is essentially a system where you set up all of the leads for a client, you set up all of the verification, all of the enrichment, and then you personalize it with cold email. And then you add it to their campaigns. So you can see like you find the prospects, you research them, you have different scrapers set up, you collect that data. Maybe it's Perplexity as well. That's what we use in most of our automations. You feed this data into AI. You then personalize the message. You then add these to a cold outreach campaign. And you're trying to do the prompt engineering here to have highly personalized messages so you can increase the reply rate. And so you can, stand out from all the templated messages. You can increase the effectiveness of these campaigns. So at my agency, this is the bread and butter of what we offer. This system I've sold for $3,000 a month for 6-month minimum contracts up front. I've sold this for $3,000 up front and then a per meeting booked basis of like $300 or $400 per meeting. So this system, in terms of the value that if you can reduce the time in which you can set this up for them, maybe do it on your own infrastructure is what we're testing, and then on their infrastructure after you've proven it out. This is a no-brainer for quite a lot of different companies. We sold agencies, I've sold CPG companies, AI, SaaS companies, and to basically say and show a demo of here's exactly what the system does, here's what it will do for you, here's how it will get you results. This is by far an S tier. For context, within the last couple weeks, my team and I have decided to basically reorient our entire business around the system, right? So we're actually building out a custom SaaS platform, a user-facing dashboard using Cursor and Lovable that will basically allow them to see all the insights of the campaigns that we're running, all the split tests that we're running, and it's extremely productizable. It's just the same process for every single client. So this is by far the best system you can sell, hands down. And again, like I'm starting to build my entire business around this. And a lot of these other systems, CRM build out, proposal generation, email follow-up, the appointment setting voice agent. These are all pretty much add-ons to this as a core software. And so fundamentally, this is the most valuable software you can solve, the AI system you can sell, and every single other one of these are like upsells once you get them the results through this system, because this is the core of any sales team. So if you want to add value from a sales perspective, this is the system that's going to do it. I have multiple videos diving into this, and I'm actually actively preparing other videos where we do even deeper dives on what that looks like. But this is by far the best system. So the next is the reporting and analytics dashboard. These, it's going to be you're taking a bunch of their data, a bunch of their database information, leads, sales table, clients table. If they are a SaaS, all of their customer data, you're getting it visualized, and you're giving them some sort of dashboard where they can make decisions on this information. You're adding it into a knowledge base. You're having a way of pulling that information in. You're having a way for them to display the information, maybe in Lovable. This is something I built out internally for myself. Let me actually show you. So let's say they have some sort of a CRM build out. So this is my CRM that I'm building out. You can say, here's the total number of leads in your pipeline. Here's the total number of proposal sent value, total amount of money in the pipeline, leads in the pipeline, current proposals that you're awaiting on, the number of meetings booked per week. And so you can essentially see all of this insight. And this is just for a sales system. Imagine a customer system or other parts of their business, customer service dashboards and reporting analytics. Maybe it's specifically for sales though. There's a lot of different insights. Total number of people reached out to, responded, warm leads, conversion rate, the total number of people that convert from proposals sent into purchasing your product. There's a lot of different insights you can add here, but you can see that this kind of dashboard, if someone didn't have this already, then them being able to make decisions off this, if it's a big enough company, would be worth thousands. So for this system, I would put it at a, where did that actually go? Reporting system. There we go. For the reporting system, I'd probably put it as a C. Again, you're going to have to target really large companies. So the sales cycle for these is going to be more of a large business, enterprise based. It's going to be a longer sales cycle. You're going to make a lot of money off of it, but then the recurring revenue is not there because it's like a one-time build. You build out all their dashboards, and then maybe you upsell them into something else. But it's definitely not a B, A, or S tier because there's no recurring revenue. It's harder to sell, although the value is definitely there. And so let's dive into the next one, social media content system. So this is where you take some sort of content from their website, from YouTube. Maybe they're releasing articles and they want to turn them into social media posts. You're taking their YouTube videos, you're writing the transcripts from them. You're scraping different people in their niche. You're using either one shot or chain prompts to basically go and generate content. You're using it to go and use human in the loop systems to actually go and post that content to add it into a queue. So this is a system I've built out for, I think, 3 different people at this point. And it's been extremely valuable for every single one of them. My biggest client to date, this is the primary thing that I do for them. And so in terms of value added, I would say this is either an A or an S tier. I'm going to put this as an A tier because the total lifetime value of clients is really large because you're basically running their entire marketing and social media team for them. And this is a extremely high perceived value from a client, so it's not that difficult to sell. But the reason I'm not putting it at an S tier and I'm putting it at an A tier is because in order to get the content like really solid to produce high quality outputs, the amount of prompt engineering that you have to do is pretty high. I probably put in 50 hours at least of prompt engineering for this single client just to get the outputs where I want them to be. And so although the lifetime value is high, although it's easy to sell, in order to add the value that you say that you can add and not set too high of expectations, you need to do a lot of prompt engineering. And so it's not that easy to deliver. So let's go on to another system here, the SEO content generator. This is where you take information about their website. You have a product knowledge base. whatever their brand documents are. You put all this stuff, you generate articles for them, and then you basically post it to their website and you make SEO adjustments for them. This system is incredibly valuable. If you can do this right and you can add pipeline value to their website, you can get them more calls from their website, all of this stuff. It's going to be extremely valuable because you're basically setting up a system that just gets them leads on autopilot. But I'm going to put this at a B because in order to, actually get results from this, even in working with SEO agencies for some of my lead gen, with the lead gen system, a lot of my clients are SEO agencies. The one thing that they told me over and over again is like, it usually takes 6 months to get results for these clients, even with a full human staff. And some people are doing this extremely well. But the amount of technical complexity and prompt engineering and understanding of SEO that is needed in order to make this work well makes it a significant barrier to actually get the results that you want. And especially if you're just starting out and you are trying to sell an AI system, unless you have previously worked in SEO and you're an SEO expert. If you are, it's S tier. If you haven't worked in SEO, which I assume most of you haven't, it's going to be a B tier because of the complexity here. So let's move on to the next system. So we've covered most of these now. It looks like we only have these 3 left. So the recruiting application analysis system. So you have candidates filling out forms, applications, you're scoring the candidates based on certain number of systems, you're ranking them, you're adding systems to follow up with them automatically. This is the exact system I use to hire people into my agency. I hired video editors and I hired AI no-code developers, people like you if you're watching this video. And we'll probably be hiring at some point in the near future again. And so basically the system is they fill out a form, it adds them into some sort of like hiring CRM, HR CRM, for all applicants. And you're treating this kind of like a sales process. So this is actually somewhat similar to the cold email system or the CRM build out, because a lot of the systems of like sales apply to recruiting as well. You're getting people into this CRM, you're trying to qualify them, you're trying to figure out if they'd be a good fit for your business. The only difference is you're like really, really selective. Where on sales, you're trying to get as many sales as possible, whereas here you're not. You're only hiring one person at a time. So this system is extremely valuable. I've seen people make lots of money for this. I built this for my own business and it was extremely valuable. It only took about 5 hours to build. Now, once you go into some of the more advanced ranking systems, that's going to require a little bit more prompt engineering, but you could easily sell this system for, upwards of, 10 to 15 grand for the right business, because if hiring is such a big bottleneck in your business and you're basically solving that entire bottleneck for them, this is going to be extremely valuable. So I'm going to actually put this as a B tier in terms of the types of system where it's the value is understood. You can give them a demo and they can easily understand the value, and it's just a really high quality system to sell. I might even put this as an S tier, although I have more experience with this. And so basically I've run email campaigns for each one of these offers. The proposal generation one, I think I got the highest reply rate out of any email campaign I've ever ran, and basically was getting like 10 people per day saying, yeah, show me a demo, I want to learn more. This system, it's a little bit harder to sell, but the lifetime value of the system is insane. The value that you're delivering to the client for the amount of work it takes you to run the system is insane, and it's by far the best system. So now if we go over to the support ticket system, this is going to be like customer support. People are adding support tickets. Maybe they're asking for refunds. Maybe they're asking questions about a product. Maybe they're emailing you. This system, you can easily sell for 10 grand. I'm going to put this as a C tier, because most likely, again, you have the contradiction that if a company is small enough and they want this system, they probably don't have the amount of money that you want to sell it for in order to build it out. And if they're big enough and they have the money, they probably already have a system like this in place. That's why I would put it as a C tier. The last one is the email appointment setting agent. So the outbound email appointment setting agent. This is basically where whenever a lead replies to one of your campaigns, so you go from a hot lead in an outbound campaign, it triggers N8N. Not sure why it keeps doing this. It goes to a hot lead in N8N, then it triggers Instantly's API, and basically what that does is it will trigger something in N8N. You'll receive a response. The N8N agent will go and, based on a knowledge base, will determine both, is this a warm reply, and if it is a warm reply, then it will trigger the knowledge base of what is the offer that the person is selling, and it will respond to them and email back and forth with them to try to nurture them and get them on a call. So it understands like if they're interested, not interested, and then it asks them to book a time on the calendar. Once a time is selected, it books the appointment and updates the CRM. This is an extremely valuable system in that it reduces the amount of work on their sales team. But I'm gonna put this at a C again because it's extremely valuable insofar as they're already running successful cold email campaigns. And so again, this is like an add-on service you can sell for another, $3 or $4 grand on your main service. So you can sell this system, this AI personalized cold email system, for between $3 and $5 grand a month, and it's not that difficult of a sell. And then once they start seeing results, you then pitch them on an AI appointment setting agent, which you build out in N8N, and then the CRM build out, then the proposal generation, and the sales call, supporting the sales team with insights, right? And so a lot of these systems are great, but not as like initial sales. Like the way to package up these offers in an email campaign or doing outbound is going to be a lot more difficult than how you package up these offers and how you package up these offers, because these are like complete systems. A business can see, if I use this system, I will get this outcome. Whereas this, they could say, if I use this system, well, my sales team is already replying. We don't have that many leads, so it's not really the bottleneck. So why would I do it? Oh, I don't know if you're going to be able to handle the complexity of doing SEO well, or the email follow system is a problem you want to solve, but it's not the bottleneck. These are typically bottleneck level problems that are reducing revenue in their business, that if you solve them, you will unlock huge amounts of revenue for them. Same with these, and these are less tied to revenue, and that's why they are less valuable. So is that all of them? I believe that's all of them. So to kind of recap here, being able to handle someone's sales and marketing processes are the most valuable thing you can do for them. Being able to handle their sales end to end, saying, I will find you leads, I will send messages to the leads, I will write the copy for the campaigns, I will get you the warm leads. You only just get the warm leads and have to nurture them and book calls with them. That's the most valuable offer. Then you have the proposal generation. For a lot of companies like roofing companies or companies where the proposal is a little bit more advanced, this is where this offer is going to be killer. If you have any expertise in what it takes to create contracts and proposals for some of these systems, such as for like roofing companies, I sent this system to roofing companies. I think the response rate was like 5%. I sent it to 5,000 people, and I think I got like at least a few hundred people saying like, let's go, show me a demo. And so it really depends on the niche, but if you can nail down, like if you just pick a specific niche for this offer, say like, I'm just going to get really good at proposals for roofers, then it will crush. If you try to do proposals for everybody, you can still do well. But niching down here and identifying what that niche is going to be your competitive advantage. And then there's CRM, social media, recruiting. These are a little bit more complex, but highly valuable, and the value is easily understood, and so therefore easily to sell. These are more of add-on systems. They're valuable, but not as standalone. These ones are just not at places where you want to sell them, either because the market's not receptive, or to find, again, you can do a client onboarding as an add-on to a lead gen system, but to sell it out the gate is probably not the best. And then the least inbound voice agents and outbound voice agents, these are going to be the least what you don't want to sell. You don't want to sell an AI that will answer calls or that will go and call people. It just surprises me. It blows my mind how everyone hypes up voice agents. I've had numerous conversations. I've probably had a dozen conversations at this point with people in the AI space who are just so excited about this idea of selling voice agents. And they like, all they want to do is like sell voice agents to plumbers and roofers. And in my experience, sending 30,000 emails for these offers to roofers and plumbers and electricians and local restaurants, these types of companies are not receptive to this offer at all. And good luck trying to sell it. It's going to be a huge headache. It's not going to work. The delivery is simple. I think that's why people are attracted to it. The delivery of these offers is freaking simple. To set up an AI voice agent takes like 5 minutes. But to show a local business the value of it, it's a lot more difficult, and you're going to have a much easier time, a much easier life. You're going to be living more well off if you focus on these 5 systems than if you focus on the ones down here. So I hope that was valuable to you all. If you're interested in learning more about all of this stuff, building these systems, all of these systems can be found in my community. We have all the templates in here. There's new people joining every single day. We have live calls of N8N for lead generation, all these AI systems that I've set up. People are willing to pay you to build them agents. We just had a guy a couple days ago who wants to hire someone from the community to build him out an agent for his business. And so we have 2 calls per week on different systems, AI systems you can build out. We have all the templates in here of different systems. So if you want like an end-to-end lead gen workflow, Claude N8N workflow builder, system prompts, different agents, a lot of these marketing agents and sales agents, I've done a lot of the work for you of doing the prompt engineering for them. And also, like, it really blows my mind how not more people are not talking about prompt engineering, because this is literally the highest quality system that you can build. So we have like a list of prompts, the highest quality skill that you can build. If you understand prompt engineering, you'll be ahead of 99% of other people in terms of the total value that you can offer, because this is really what takes AI and turns it into value, is the quality of your prompt. So we have offer creation prompts in here. We have business creation prompts, content creation prompts, headlines, VSL writers, landing page creators, short form content creators, competitor analysis. These are all prompts that I use in my business on a weekly basis. And we also have, I'll show you how to create high quality prompts in here in a way that I don't see too many other people talking about. So I hope that this video is valuable for you. Thank you so much for watching. And I will hopefully see you in the next video.